Hey, welcome to the August 2014 World of Equine News Report right here on Speaking of Horses TV. I'm your host, Wayne Williams, and we're glad to have you join us again this month. First of all, news from Kentucky, the Kentucky Reining Cup Classic. They're looking ahead to 2015. After an overwhelmingly successful event in 2014, Horsepower Inc., the producers of the Reining Cup, are already making plans for 2015. Here's some of the highlights of the 2014 Kentucky Reining Cup. There were 7 nations competing, a world championship freestyle reining, $120,000 in prize money was awarded, over 18,000 viewers on the live webcast broadcast, over 30,000 are now watching on demand, and a total media reach 277,000 people. For information on how to be a part of this incredible event for 2015, held at the Kentucky Horse Park in Lexington, in that beautiful Alltech arena, contact us today at 303-525-3964 or by email at brad@hpowerinc.com. Well, you know, we were recently in Lexington, Kentucky at BreyerFest 2014. Not only did we announce the event and film TV show highlights, but a wonderful story unfolded while we were there. The parade horse champion Saddlebred was performing, and the owner and rider Holly Armstrong also was there, and I discovered a wonderful story about her parade saddle. Here's the interview and that story. Watch. BreyerFest 2014, and right now we're back in the barn area. We are talking to Holly Armstrong, who has one of the guest or celebration horses here, and it's a beautiful saddlebred, Marcus. The actual name is Paddington's?
Mark of Distinction.
Mark of Distinction, or Marcus, it all fits, right? Yeah. And of course you're showcasing the beautiful animation for parade with that saddlebred. Tell us a little bit about Marcus.
Well, Marcus is a seven-year-old Pinot saddlebred. He stands about 17 hands, and he loves the crowd and a parade, and the louder you cheer, the more animated he gets.
Well, most saddlebreds are that way. They love the applause, they love that, and of course, in parade regalia, there's nothing that's more animated than a saddlebred. They just do a fantastic job at that.
I couldn't agree more.
So how's your time here at BreyerFest?
It's been fun, overwhelming, an honor. Words can't even describe. An unbelievable experience.
Now you're down from Howell, Michigan?
Correct.
Now that's where in Michigan?
We're about middle of the mitten.
Middle of the mitten. Okay, all right. You gotta picture Michigan, right? Forget the UP.
Right here.
So now, tell us a little bit about the Flowers saddles that you ride.
I have about 4 Ted Flowers parade sets, and I started collecting them probably about 12 years ago, and was fortunate enough to, I didn't start with the full-fledged silver Ted Flowers parade saddles, but I started with what I could afford, and then I just had the opportunity to purchase a full set, and then another, and then another, and then another. So I don't know all of the history about all of the saddles, but was my pleasure in meeting you and finding out that I have a saddle that I know a lot of the history about.
Yes, we were going to get into that. One of the saddle rigs that you bought was my father's, and he had that saddle put together in 1958, so I know the history. I know why the saddle is heavier than the others, because he actually, got his own saddle and then had Ted Flowers cover it. Now, the Flowers saddles, actually, most of these saddles go back prior to 1970, because Ted Flowers actually was not making them past maybe 1968, 69. Some of his kids carried on for a year or two, and that was the end of it. So they're all at least 44, 45 years old. The one that you have now that was my father's, that my dad rode up through 2003, and I had just sent a picture to Holly of my father on that saddle. Last time he rode it was 03 in the Indianapolis 500 parade. But
there was a couple distinctive pieces on the saddle is how we determined that it was your father's set.
Yeah, the minute that you mentioned the 50-cent pieces on the breast collar, I knew that's how he repaired that. You know, I knew it immediately. So, and it gave me chills to find out that that rig is in your possession, and you're using part of it here at Briarfest, not all of it, but part of it. And I also know that it's going to be maintained and taken care of.
Absolutely, and loved and carried on onto my daughter for more paraders in my family down the line.
Well, you got to take care of the Flowers equipment because it's all at least 45 years old, and it's not going to get any younger.
Correct.
And there's not going to be any more.
Correct. I couldn't agree more.
You know, and it's if you didn't buy a Flowers saddle, the only other option for parade really was a Bolin, and with Ted Flowers using a Monel, a silver alloy, they were much more affordable than if you went to the pure silver Bolins.
Correct. Yes, definitely.
So a pure silver Bolin would run 100,000.
Easily,
Yeah.
And upwards. I mean, some are museum quality in the museums. So.
Yeah. Well, the Bolins were the ones that the Gene Autry's and the Roy Rogers and all the Hollywood people got the Bolins, you know. And we had one gentleman that I used to ride with in Indianapolis that had a Bolin. And the problem with the Bolin, the problem was you had to clean it about once a week because it's pure silver. You couldn't let it set for a month.
Right, right. I think it's hard enough doing my saddle once a week.
Yeah.
Well, maybe every couple weeks, but not as extreme as, you know, the pure silver saddles.
But you have to stay on top of them, and you've got to stay on top of the leather because without the leather, you don't have anything to hold the silver together.
Right. Typically, my saddles are all stored inside the house, but I travel year-round from April to November, parading around across the United States, and my saddles go with, two of my saddles go with me, and it's tough. It's a lot to carry, a lot to keep up, and just last night in the arena, we had a little breakage of equipment.
Oh, you did? I didn't see that. Aha.
We have a little repair to do today.
I've had to do that on the fly, too.
Yeah.
I will tell you one other thing about that saddle. It was in the Rose Parade one year.
That is awesome. That is my dream to someday be able to ride in the Rose Bowl Parade.
I did it with my father. We rode together in the Rose Parade. And so that rig that you have now was there, and that was January 1st, 1979. I'm giving my age away now.
Wow. I would have been 9 then. I gave my age away, too.
Well, I was out there riding. I was a little older than 9, but it was January 1, 1979. And so it has been in the Rose Parade also.
That is phenomenal.
Well, we're going to show some film now of you in the arena, a little bit of you in action with Marcus.
Okay.
And we're also going to show a picture in just a moment of the rig. Not only I'm going to take a picture here of this up close, and then I've got some pictures of that saddle that was my father's that you now own too. So we're going to show some stuff, and thanks for talking with us.
Thank you so much, Wayne. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, it's been a real pleasure, and I feel really good that I know where that saddle went. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll keep you up to date and posted, and it's an honor indeed. So.
Oh, I appreciate it. Hey, we're here at Briarfest with Speaking of Horses, so let's watch some of Marcus and Holly in action right now. Hey, we'll be back with a story of medical help for horses in South Dakota and therapy horses from Carousel Miniature Horses. Stay with us. You know, we want to take a moment to thank many of the fine people who have made Speaking of Horses TV possible. King Barnes, custom designed and built to your specs, crafted by experienced craftsmen just for you. Visit King Barnes for your class barn. Revitavet, light therapy products to assist in faster healing of your horse. Use the light pads to warm up muscles before riding. It's innovative, reliable, and you get top results. Revitavet. And a thank you to Just Dump It, easy and safe handles for your wheelbarrow. Save your back with this dump system, easy to install and use. Check out Just Dump It. And Hoosier Horse Trailers, crafted and built in northern Indiana. Unique designs and factory-crafted living interiors. Amish craftsmen at their best. That's Hoosier Horse Trailers. Thank you for your support of Speaking of Horses. We know there's a group of veterinarians from Wisconsin, Illinois, and around the Midwest that travel every year to the Pine Ridge Reservation and assist the Oglala Sioux with the health care of their horses for what is called the Horse Spirit Society. Now, these people were in South Dakota this summer from July 20th through the 27th, caring for upwards of 700 horses, all pro bono. The Horse Spirit Society is a wonderful project which deserves our help and respect. Check it out on Facebook, the Horse Spirit Society. While we were at BriarFest 2014, we went up to the Carousel Miniature Therapy Horses. We had talked to them in the past. Now, they had visited over 25,000 ill children and older citizens in nursing homes over the last few years. From the tornado victims in Moore, Oklahoma, to the children of Sandy Hook School. Let's watch this interview and video, learn a lot more about these wonderful horses and the power of healing. Hi, Magic. Say something. She's speechless. Actually, we had Magic on camera in Ocala last year, didn't we? Right. We did, yeah. Tell us about your experience at BriarFest.
It's been fantastic. I know we've had over 10,000 people here, and I think all of them have come by to say hello to Magic, and it's been a special time. Everyone's taken a real interest in Magic's story and the many things that she's done, and it's just been a fantastic weekend.
Well, I know reading your script about all the places that you've had Magic and things you've done, I had to stop a few times. I was kind of choking up myself through some of the emotion of that. But you know, from Sandy Hook to Moore, Oklahoma, to you went to a couple of children's hospitals right here before BriarFest started, right?
We did. We went to the Ronald McDonald House in Lexington, and we also went to the Kentucky Children's Hospital in Lexington and went to a public library. So before BriarFest even got started, we've been very busy, but those were very impactful times, and it's hard for us to travel anywhere without reaching out to the community and doing some work, the work that Magic does best, you know, giving smiles to children. But the Children's Hospital was very incredible. We took the elevator up to the 7th floor. These are children who are obviously very critical and acute care. And Magic went up the elevator, just did fantastic work. Went down the halls into some of the rooms and visited with the children. She was just very glad to see them, and they responded very well. Well, tell us a little bit about on your take, because I mean, I know that horses with people, Magic, I'm sorry. Horses have such an effect on children, on older adults, just on people in general when it's a live therapy tool. What do you think one of the key things to that is? We got some wind blowing in here too, but what do you think some of the key things to that really are? Well, I think being able to touch a warm-blooded animal like this, especially a horse, it's very unusual to see a horse walk into a hospital and come into a setting like that. Magic has beautiful blue eyes, so I think that really draws in, whether it's a child or a senior, it really draws in the person to the horse. Magic's real calm, and what we have found, the evidence shows that it lowers the blood pressure of an individual, raises the endorphin levels, just gives them a sense of a euphoric feeling, which a lot of times that's really what patients need who are going through a difficult time. So I think it's powerful work. Of course, you know, it takes about 2 years to get them to the point where they can walk into a hospital, walk on those slick floors and around hospital equipment. But once they learn that, it's just really powerful. And Magic, I think she really knows what she's doing. She sees the children responding. She gets in a very calm state when she's inside. There's a big difference when she's running around in the barn and when she's in the hospital doing her work.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, my take reading your script here about all the places you've been and things you've done, have done. You know, the American Morgan horse is the oldest breed of horse that completely originated in America. Going back to colonial days, school teacher Justin Morgan, the Morgan has a rich history, including the chosen mount for the U.S. Cavalry. The American Morgan Horse Association of today has a new young adult alliance, which is a group of 18 to 40-year-old amateurs and professionals working together to strengthen the breed. The association is based in Vermont, and the Morgan Horse Association is now sharing details on this new scholarship program, whereby $1,500 in scholarship money will be paid out after successful completion of 2 judges' schools. This is for those that wish their USEF-R judges card for Morgans. For details on this great project, go to morganhorse.com. Hey, we'll be right back with much, much more. We want to take a moment to thank many of the fine people that have made Speaking of Horses possible. Source Nutrition, micronutrients for your horse or dog, developed and harvested from the ocean on the Maine coast. Years of research and development for the best supplements available. Source Nutrition. Equessentials, horse conditioning and prep products developed by Dr. Tom Tweeton. Totally safe, improve your horse's coat and health. That's Equessentials. Echo Green Grid, stop mud and uneven wet ground. Echo Green Grid installs easily to give a great base for footing. Use it in the paddock around the water tank or use it in the barn. That's Echo Green Grid. And a thank you to Fly Predators. Fly Predators from Spalding Labs control flies and fly larvae the easy way. Use Fly Predators and flies will be gone. Thank you to these people who support Speaking of Horses. Imagine a horse brings trick horse training into the modern age of animal behavioral science. You know, it bridges the human desire to be one with the horse and develops a lasting and functional bond with him. Learn how and why horses think, learn and act as they do. The first step in creating a mutually satisfying, sustainable horse-human bond. Their next school is in October of 2014. Modern trick horse training is about creating a more intelligent, predictable, and adaptable horse, a safe companion, and a trail horse. Every student will have hands-on instruction with a large troop of exhibition horses that vary in levels of finish. This is a wonderful format as the students learn effective methods in a condensed time frame with no need to bring a horse. With skills acquired in camp, you can take your new knowledge home and then teach your own horse. Now, attendance is limited to assure that all will have plenty of hands-on training. Sue says that you'll work with my husband, Alan Pogue, and myself, as well as Associate Trainer Christy Reeves and Graduate Assistant Mary Stewart. Their all-new Trick Horse Companion Training Manual has over 200 pages included. Now, here's the curriculum of pedestal training techniques, both in hand and at liberty, including 2 feet up, all 4 feet up, 2-tier pedestals, the revolving pedestal, and many variations. Tricks of trust, including the obedience, the bow, kneel, lay down, set up and set down. Tricks of agility, including the jambonnet or salute, the rear, using the target board, the climbing wall, and many variations on the pedestal. Tricks of gait, such as the Spanish walk, the march step, and how to maximize individual gait variations. Tricks of engagement, including the retrieve, herding, and retrieving the big ball, and the smile. Liberty training with 1 horse and then multiple horses in circus style. Now, imagine a horse methods are modern and effective with an emphasis on equestrian tact, understanding how and why horses learn, and handler safety. For more details, please contact Sue DeLaurentis, Sue at imagineahorse.com, or you can call them at 512-736-3208. Well, you know, we at Speaking of Horses like to feature new products that have a great merit on the show. Now, here's our What's New corner. We have for you Centaur heated horse blanket dryers. Now, watch this information video on how you can care for your expensive horse blankets.
I'm John Clark with Centaur Heated Horse Blanket Dryers. You can find our information on www.horseblanketdryers.us. Our product is a really unique product. It is a heated system. It will actually dry your blankets, your soaking wet blankets, in less than 4 hours. Two things that does. Now you have a blanket that is dry every day for your horse. You don't have to have 2 or 3 blankets. It costs very little. You can actually, with our unit here, we have four rails. You can put 4 blankets on, dry them in under 4 hours for a cost of less than 70 cents. It's on wheels. You can move it around in your barn or whatever. If you want to, it can be stood up so you have saved space. It also will be able to, when you stand it up, you can dry saddle pads on there as well as blankets. So you get the benefit of drying your saddle pads all the time. When it's not in use, you can use it to stack your blankets so that you have a safe space also in your tack room and so forth. The other thing that it will do is, because it is on an electrical system, 110 unit, you can actually put it on a timer. So you can have it come on hour or so before you go into your barn. Warm your blankets up. If you happen to have a couple of older horses that have problems with their body, you can put a warm blanket on them, and that's going to make them feel better and be more active, actually. In addition to that, our product, with it being on a timer, you can dry 4 blankets every 4 hours. So in a 12-hour day, and I'm sure most of you work more than 12 hours, you'd be able to get 12 blankets dried easily. And we also have 2 other models. We have a 2-rail unit and a 6-rail unit. So they're easy, convenient, and they work. As you can see, it takes just a regular 110 plug, similar to a hair dryer, same wattage, 1500 watts. That's why it's very cost efficient for drying our blankets. There's a couple other things that we wanted to mention. You can unplug this, as you see now, put your wet blanket or your blanket on it, dirty blanket, take your spray washer, spray it off, plug it back in, and dry your blanket. So now you don't have to go to the laundromat, or you don't have to send them out to be cleaned. Saves you cost in laundering. The other thing that our product will do is it dries from the inside out. It uses kind of like radiant heat, so you don't ruin the waterproofing. You also extend the life of your blankets, and you're going to get somewhere between 6 to 8 times the lifespan of a blanket now by using our blanket. Our product is an extremely simple product. It has a heating element in it similar to a water heater, so it heats the water up to a perfect temperature to dry our blankets in that less than 4-hour time frame. There's no maintenance. The system is fully enclosed. All you do is plug it in and it's ready to go. There are no moving parts. Another feature of our product, it can be wall mounted, and then when you wall mount it, you can actually put saddle pads on here to dry. So you could actually dry 12 saddle pads with this 4-rail unit. As you can see, our heated horse blanket dryer can be stood up and wall mounted. It's shipped with wall mounting brackets, so if you're limited on space or you want to put it on the wall, you can do that. But it also has wheels, so you can move it. As you can see, the Centaur heated horse blanket dryer is very versatile. You can do saddle pads, you can do your Blankets, obviously, towels, anything that's in your tack room that's wet can be dried. Another benefit of our product is during these cold, wintry months that are wet and snowy, when your heated horse blanket dryer is on in your tack room, it also will help to keep the chill off of the tack room and keep your leather and your other fine products free from mold and mildew and so forth. Another important feature about this product is that you can not only dry your wet blankets, but you can wash your dirty blankets on them. But an important feature is that you have to unplug it and wrap it with a plastic bag to protect the electrical outlets and electrical parts. Because the coldest thing in your barn could be your feet, we now make a heated boot dryer. Hi, we're here with Cindy Buchanan, owner of Mercer Hill Farms, with her heated horse blanket dryer. She's one of our valued customers. This is the multifunctional Centaur heated horse blanket dryer. Can you afford to not have one?
The Buckskin Horse World Show they've just concluded in Cloverdale, Indiana. We were pleased to be there and provide live streaming TV coverage. Check out all of that coverage that's archived on speakingofhorses.com. Thanks to the IBHA, or International Buckskin Horse Association, for their continued support and growth. Hey, now don't forget to join Speaking of Horses as we ride the Story Ride in Indiana from the Midwest Trail Ride grounds in Norman, Indiana to the village of Story, Indiana. Now, we'll be riding there and filming August 18th to the 21st. Come join us, check it out. Get a hold of them at MidwestTrailRide.com. And we'll be right back. We at Speaking of Horses would like to thank some of the people who helped to make Speaking of Horses TV possible. A big thank you to Equine Clot. Equine Clot is a wonderful product. Carry it in your saddlebag, put it in your first aid kit, wrap it on an equine wound. It immediately promotes clotting and is a great first aid tool. Thank you to Equine Clot. And to EquestraSafe, a complete line of equestrian riding products for trail, for arena, for wherever. From reflective vests, reflective headgear, tapes, signage, everything you need to ride safely and to be safe with your horse is available at EquestraSafe.com. Check them out. Thanks to all of the fine people that make Speaking of Horses TV possible. Hey, that's our August report on World of Equine News right here on Speaking of Horses TV. I'm Wayne Williams, and we'll see you down the trail and next month.